to Charmed Life, a radio show discussing spirituality, magic, and the unconditional love of the universe. Thanks for tuning in. And I'm your host, Tricia Carr. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am having some technical issues here on the side. But don't worry, it's 11:11. That means everything is working out perfectly. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm very excited about today's show. Super, super excited about it. I want to tell you about one thing before we get started, and that is that I have a Patreon community, and that's patreon.com/Tricia Carr. Patreon is this platform where people who are content creators and artists and stuff like that have a way for folks to be able to support them, and I actually make it a community. And by that, I mean I meet with my community once or twice per month. We do live group meditations, and there are a couple of things that I'm offering exclusively to my Patreon community. One is that if you actually sign up before October 1st, you'll be able to partake in this master training that I'm doing just for the Patreon community. It's something that I call 5 Steps to Opening Your Intuitive Abilities. It's kind of this template that I received from Spirit a while ago, and I use it for my own personal development, as well as for people that I mentor. And so I'm just I've offered a few times in different formats. So go ahead and sign up. You can even just sign up for the $1 a month, and then you could log off next month if you wanted to, if you didn't really get the Patreon deal. But if you would like to, go ahead and go to patreon.com, Patreon/Tricia Carr. And there's also another class that I'm offering that I'll be announcing on October 1st that will be exclusively available to Patreon folks. And that is all I have to say before I welcome my amazing in-studio guests. You guys charged up your little shoulders like, oh, it's our turn. Well, you guys have met Hillary before if you are a Charmed Life listener. Hillary is a spiritual teacher and a medium, and one of my very first mentors, one of the very first, really you were like the second person, I think, that I connected with after I opened up. Mm-hmm. And also in studio is Rachel Radner, who is an author. So I'm not going to talk about you guys anymore. I want to see what you've been up to. First of all, Hillary, since people know you, if they listen to Charmed Life, tell everyone what you've been up to lately.
So I'm still teaching classes. I'm still mentoring. I'm doing readings. But now I have a new thing where I'm traveling all over to teach my beginner mediumship class. So I might be coming to a place near you to teach beginner mediumship. It's a 1-day class, and you get a reading in this class, and we figure out what you have going on. We also find out who your guides are and help you understand how your mediumship, your empathic abilities, your psychic abilities, all of that works. And I'm coming to Phoenix in 2 weeks, so sign up. I'm also coming to Seattle, Austin, Texas, Chicago, Las Vegas, Miami, Florida.
Wow.
Look on the website. I might be coming to Nashville. So there are a lot of cities I'm going to this year, and they're all on the website. They're all scheduled. You can sign up now. So
and they're filling up.
They are filling up.
When are you going to be in Austin? Because I might want to come join you.
Oh, that'd be fun. I'm going to be in Austin in March.
Oh, that's awesome.
The last weekend of March, I think.
Oh, great. Okay, great.
That'd be so fun.
Yeah.
You could have a class with Tricia and Hillary.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, let's do that. Well, I'm not promising it because I need to.
I'm excited.
Well, my mom lives near Austin. My sisters all live in that area, and I've actually never been to Austin. Mm-hmm. So let's talk about it afterward.
Okay, we will, for sure.
Your website is HappyCentric?
My website is happycentric.com for readings, but if you want to sign up for the class, laspiritualarts.com, and you want to look for beginner mediumship workshop.
I'm so excited.
And it's very affordable, and I give you lunch and everything, so it's a full day. Just come.
It sounds amazing. All that you are packing into that time, learning about your abilities, learning about how it all works, your spirit guides get a reading. Oh my gosh.
And I started doing this because I'm getting a lot of emails from you guys in other states, and you're saying, we don't have this here. Yeah. I don't know what to do. I don't know if I should take an online class. So I'm just going to come to you.
I feel like Archangel Metatron has organized this. Because,
I think he has.
Yeah. Because Metatron,
I see him a lot.
He's like the Archangel who's like the harvester of the light workers, mobilizing people in their spirituality and everything. And really, so I'm just seeing you going to these different cities and being like, charge up your light. Now go and help others,
Yeah. And Seattle, you guys are going crazy signing up for these classes, for this class. So you guys really must need it up there. I don't know what's going on in Seattle, but you're signing up a lot of people are signing up, and it's 2 months away, so I don't know what's going on up there.
Wow, that's awesome.
Can I introduce my
Please,
student?
yes.
So this is Rachel Radner. She's one of my mentoring students, and Rachel has had some really exciting experiences with her mediumship, and I brought her on today so we could kind of talk about it and see if you guys are having probably similar experiences, those of you out there who are opening up your mediumship. And Rachel, when she opened up her mediumship, she started talking to her soulmate. So maybe do you want to start with Rachel?
Absolutely. Yes, please, Rachel,
Yeah.
tell us about your journey
Yeah.
and everything that's been going on with you.
So the first thing is I could definitely thank you for having me on the show.
My pleasure.
This is my first time actually talking about this publicly, so I'm pretty excited to be here. I could write an entire book.
I hope you will.
Yeah,
because you're an author.
Yeah, and I'm actually right now, not to get into a different topic, but I am working on a book based on my experiences, except a fictionalized version of it.
Perfect.
And
I
it's
love that.
all from everything I've gone through, which for me started about 15 years ago. When I was 15, there's a woman, she's well known, I don't want to say her name, but basically she was, I could always, I felt like I had a kindred spirit.
You don't want to say her name? You don't want to share it? It's okay if you don't. Okay.
I can, if you think it's...
Oh, it's totally up to you.
Yeah.
Hillary says no.
Probably not.
Okay.
I just feel like it's more respectful for her
Yeah.
family.
I feel that way too. That's
Yeah.
why I don't divulge
Yeah.
the famous actually there's two famous
if
people
I
who
ever
are
do
passed.
a reading for someone famous, I never tell anybody. It's
Yeah.
completely confidential.
And that's exactly why I don't talk about it publicly, because of their family who are still
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
But anyway, so a famous person who was actually passed just right after you were born. So it's you're not contemporary to her at all.
There's no way I would have ever known her
Right.
or known of her. She was very famous in the 70s, but I was born in 87, and there was no way I would have known who she was. And it was just by coincidence that I happened to learn who she was from something that was on TV when I randomly didn't even watch TV. I just turned it on because I felt like I needed to. And it was something about her. And I was like, wow, this person is my twin.
Yeah.
And I just felt I felt so drawn to her, and there was this emptiness when I found out she had passed, and I was like, wow, this is I just felt this very deep connection with her, and just if I had a twin on Earth, that would have been her. And so it really shaped who I was. And when I was 15, I started, I would never do this again, but 15, I was using a Ouija board.
Yeah.
And it started coming through that it was her. And the thing is, it felt wrong. It felt like, nope, this is definitely not her. But that's kind of where my spirituality started, was from these experiences. And at 15, I was able to feel spirits. I would feel that tingly sensation that someone was hugging me or holding my arm. And everything I went through, there was always if I just had this idea that if I thought of a spirit and I thought of someone who had passed, that they would be there for me. And whenever I thought that, I just felt all this love, and I would sometimes feel the hugs. And I didn't really like to talk about it because I thought, people are going to think I'm nuts and not believe me. And how do you even explain this? So I just didn't. And a lot of it went through into my fiction, and that's how it was. And I just passed it off fictional story here, not me at all. And it was actually kind of sort of experiences I had been through. So then what really kicked it off, though, was when a couple of years ago, someone I dated actually passed away. And I only dated them for a very short amount of time, and I barely even knew him that well. When he passed, it was that feeling I had with the woman, except it was times 100. It was I can't, I was grieving over this person I barely even knew, and I couldn't explain it. That person made it into all my stories. It was he suddenly became my muse, and I couldn't live without him. And I was just devastated. And I was in this funk because of a guy who passed away who we had only even been in communication for 3 or 4 weeks.
Wow.
So to me, I was like, what's going on? I don't understand. And the only way I could heal was by writing this character into my book. And then finally, after I finished, I wrote 2 manuscripts with this character. Wow. And it was just a guy based off him. And all of a sudden, I finished the books, put them aside. February of this year, February of this year, I had this crazy visitation dream. And I was a person who, I was very spiritual, but I had my doubts. I was still like, I was that person who thought, okay, well, logically speaking, when people pass away, how could their conscious still exist? Like,
That's exactly when I came to Hillary. That's exactly. She's like, you're a medium. I was like, I don't think I believe in that.
That's how I was. I was like, no, like I'm not, like I believe in science. Like
Exactly, me too.
Yeah, like I'm not that person who's like that. Like to me, it was like, okay, well, I'm very spiritual. I've always had these weird connections. But I didn't 100% believe. I was like, no, I am a, I'm this logical person.
Yes.
And so I had this dream and I was like, oh no, this was him. And it was this guy that I had dated showed up to me. It was like it was like he was here the way that you guys are here with me right now. And it was the realest dream I had ever had. And he came to me and he said a bunch of things very quickly. But the number one thing he said was, you need to listen. And so I went back, and after he said that, I drew from my experiences when I was 15 where I could do automatic writing, where like I would just hold my hand, I would have my hand idle, and it would, like a spirit would write something. And so I was like, hey, if you're here, and this is me when I was awake, if you're here, I want to talk to you. And so basically from there, he started reaching out and we started communicating through text. We would type to each other. I would type something and then I would like just let my hand idle and he would type the words with my fingers.
Wow.
We would write. We primarily used the computer and on my phone. We still do. But that's how we started communicating, really. I started to hear him a little bit. In the first month, it was very hard to hear him. It was like I was hearing him, but I was hearing all these other negative spirits and like I was getting all these negative messages, crazy stories, crazy things were happening. It took a while for those things to go away and for it to finally be like, hey, listen, this is the guy. I'm here. It's me. I'm here. You're not going to hear me that well right now, but as we keep talking, you're going to hear me more. And like working with Hillary has helped so much. And just doing the classes, doing readings on other people has helped. I do everything through him. So my connection is through him.
Now, I want to make a note in case folks are a bit new to their awakening to their abilities, that actually doesn't happen all the time, but it's also not that uncommon. I have a friend who's been on Charmed Life a couple of times, and she's actually, I think she shared on Charmed Life, it's Lauren Antufermo. Hi, Lauren, if you're listening, I love you. She had an experience where, she basically kind of opened her third eye, but she still had a lot of fear in her vibration, and so negative things were coming up. And so kind of the first instruction, and Hillary has a lot of great tips and instruction about that time, is kind of simply raising your vibration, getting rid of the fear, knowing that you are your own agency, you are sovereign, you are God's child, so you don't have to, just as energy works, a frequency connects with a like frequency. So it's the fear, it's not that you're a bad person, it's that you have fear still. So if you're able to move through the fear, which I'm sure aligning with Hillary or a mentor who has no fear about it anymore, that offering that frequency then helps to shift and raise your vibration.
And knowing too, like getting the confirmation that I wasn't going crazy.
Yes, and that it's normal. It's not a
Yeah.
crazy thing like the world thinks it is. Yes, exactly.
Or like one of the bad messages was, oh, you're schizophrenic, you're hearing voices. When I started going to mediums, I talked to Hillary about it and got confirmation that no, you're not schizophrenic.
Yeah.
That's a different thing. Like you're actually connecting to spirits, and the people that you think you're connected to, that guy's here. I got validation that he was here, and just like you said, raising your vibration, and just now the things that were happening to me in the beginning don't happen anymore because I'm more confident that this is happening. And I know like there are things that you can do, like imagining light rushing to you and just allowing yourself, like taking a deep breath and just like allowing like different techniques you can use to raise your vibration and just be in a better space.
Yes.
It feels like knowing you're protected and knowing that nothing bad can happen to you. That's the other thing, is that when I first started this, I was, even at 15, like especially at 15, I was scared that there was going to be a demon that was going to attack me and kill me and drag me to, anywhere.
Right.
But now it's like, no. Like that doesn't happen. And like, if anyone's watching this who's brand new and they're worried about that, no. That does not happen to you. Like you are safe. There are plenty of, there are plenty of spirit guides and people around you. We all have our own armies. And that's what I learned, was that you have an army of love that surrounds you and nothing bad can happen to you. And if it feels wrong, it is wrong. So just tell it to leave.
Yes. Well, I think that leads us into Hillary's tips about, so the person that Rachel is referring to, one of her feels like a soul twin. This person was basically a very famous person. So that's why I entitled this Celebrity Guides, because that is absolutely possible. People who are past who were famous here when they were alive. I mean, they're still just people. Yeah. And I actually have two that I connect with who were very famous in their lives. One in particular, and that particular person I connected with 2 years before he even died. He came to me in an astral dream, like what you're describing, very real. And I was like, I was actually confused by it, because I was like, this person's alive still, and that felt like a visitation dream. But then I just realized, I went into meditation and talked to my guides or talked to God about it. And it was basically like, well, yeah, why not? His higher self is still there, and you have this connection. And so then 2 years later, he passed. And that relationship has continued in a really, really beautiful way. He's not necessarily one of my primary guides that I turn to all the time. It's sort of like someone who comes in every now and again. Mm-hmm. And I do see online, I see people channeling celebrities. And I love right away, Hillary, like you said, let's not say those people's names, those famous people's names, because they have family right here. So just imagine if your dad had passed and then there was this stranger going, oh, I'm connecting with Aaron Alley. That's my father's name. And Aaron Alley says this, that, and the other thing. I would be like, what? You don't know my daddy? Or just, you know what I mean? Like out of respect for the people who are living. And it's just not necessarily helpful. That's my general. Now, I'm not saying that everyone who is divulging that they're connecting with a celebrity is off. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that. But I have seen a lot of people who are channeling celebrities. It feels really off to me, because they're saying that this past celebrity is speaking things that are very regretful. Like, I wish that you were worshiping me. I'm a past celebrity and nobody is thinking about me, in the way that I want them to think about me. Hillary, now what's going wrong there?
If you guys are experiencing this and you've just opened up your mediumship, this is really common. Actually, I see a lot of my students go through this in the beginning as they open up. What happens is you're opening up your channel, you're opening up your mediumship. And at the level you're at, you're a human being at the level on this earth plane, you're on the same level as a lot of earthbound spirits, people who haven't crossed over, people who are still here and they don't want to leave. So some of them have good intentions, some of them kind of don't. And I mean, I know it's not so nice to talk about, but let's be real, that happens. And so like Rachel was saying, and when I met Rachel, we had to work a lot with her guides and really get her to understand who she was talking to, and know that if she was talking to Roger, she was really talking to Roger and not someone who was pretending to be Roger, because that did happen quite a few times, didn't it?
Roger is that soulmate guide. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes.
Well, he's not famous, so it's just a name. Is that okay?
Yeah. That's fine.
Okay. Well, we already did it.
So anyway, if you're experiencing this, if you're opening up your mediumship and you're having that experience where you're not sure who you're talking to, or you're hearing very clairaudiently, the thing about earthbound spirits is they will talk to you clairaudiently because they don't know any other way. But if you're talking to people from heaven, from the highest vibration, they're going to talk to you with feeling. They're going to talk to you through your heart. So if you're using your third eye, you're going to get a lot of clairvoyance and clairaudience. And those things are fine when you're a medium and you've risen in vibration. But when you're first starting, see if you can ask your guides to help you open up your heart and connect with your heart so you can feel them, because your heart is the only place that the people from heaven can connect to. Or should I?
Well, yeah, the earthbounds, the disembodied, just regular Joes who they're people without bodies, good, bad, or ugly.
They can't talk to you with feeling. They can't connect to your heart. Your guides are the only ones that can connect to your heart. The people in heaven are the only ones that can connect to your heart. So that's how you know you're getting the truth. That's how you know you're talking to the right people.
I've quoted Hillary many times on this show, and also with my students, I always attribute to, because you coach your students when they're practicing readings, and you can feel that they've sort of gotten a little disconnected, like maybe they're judging themselves or something like that, and you tell them, go home. And you mean to your heart, where basically your heaven is.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Your center. Your center. So if you're having this experience, I would highly recommend getting a reading. If you can't afford a reading, go to laspiritualarts.com and you can get a free reading from one of my students. And I'm on the call too, so I can kind of help out and kind of help you see if who you're talking to is really there and who that is. But it's a good idea to get a reading so you can really see who's around you, and then you can really go to those people. And then I would also suggest asking your guides, writing a letter and asking them to help you receive with your heart more so than your third eye. So.
And so here's the thing. I just want to clarify for some folks in the way that I see things. I completely agree. The thing with the clairaudience, clairvoyance, and stuff like that is they're actually translating the truth. And so the truth that is the higher truth is what you feel in your heart. Mm-hmm. And so then you feel it or you experience it first as love. Mm-hmm. And that's why I always tell my students, you have no expectations for how you're connecting, whether you're connecting on behalf of someone else or for yourself, except the only expectation, the only intention is to connect with love. Right. The details of it show up however they do. So you connect with love, and then you might hear the person's mother's name who's in heaven. You know what I mean? Like then it's translated from your heart. It rather than it being so. Now some people, they actually do use their clairvoyance and their clairaudience, like show me and tell me. But they're connected first in their heart. They're anchored in their heart. Like you say, yes. If their vibration has raised.
Really clairaudient. I'm really, really clairaudient. Mm-hmm. But I have to kind of put it down a little bit and receive with my heart. So when I started my mediumship, all I could hear were voices all the time. And I even got one spirit that said he was God, and he was like telling me to do all this stuff. And I was like, well, why would I tell God no, you know? So it can be a little bit dangerous. But if you can learn to receive with your heart, that's the best thing you can do. That's how you know you're getting the truth. And people in heaven, they are very polite. They are very positive. They use positive language. They don't use profanity, and they don't use sarcasm. So whoever's talking to you is using that language or that type of talking, sarcasm, that kind of stuff. Don't listen to them. Just go to your heart and ask your guides to come closer and actually do a prayer maybe and ask those people ask God to send those people home who are talking to you. So that's how you know.
And in my experience too, even if like you're going through some really terrible time, the person that you're talking to, they're going to say, okay, yeah, this is a hard time, but you're going to get through it. Mm-hmm. They're going to give you words of encouragement. They're going to make you feel good. Anytime I'm sad or crying over something that's happened to me and I'm talking to him, like he is very much like, okay, yeah, like this is hard, but you can do it. Like, and it's just, you can just feel the love. And the other thing is too, I notice, because I can hear the voice, I'm clairaudient as well, so I can hear him, but it's like you said, it's kind of anchored, so like I can feel it at the same time. It's kind of like it's happening together. Like I know that it's right, because I can then sometimes I hear, like I'm at a place where sometimes I still hear him and it's not actually him, but if I feel it in my heart, then I know, yeah, that's right, that's what he's saying.
And again, I want to stress that there is nothing to fear, that these are just people without bodies, and you walk around in your life and you're not worried about your coworker making you crazy and making you schizophrenic, right? Because they're just that's a person with the body. I'm more concerned about people with bodies than people without bodies, because people without bodies, you shift to love and they don't exist anymore. Like they literally can't exist for you if you're connected to love. And so there is nothing to fear. All you have to do is connect with your pure source of love and into that heart. And but you know, sometimes it takes raising the vibration to recognize that. I mean, I think that's why I had my abilities shut down for so long, because I was so fear-based.
That happened to me too. A whole summer, I had that crazy clairaudience for a long time. I couldn't even sleep because I was hearing voices all the time. And I went to a priest and he said, go to church and, you know, get on some medication or something. And I'm not kidding. He said that. And my guide just like put a jar over my head or something. I couldn't hear anything for like 3 months until my vibration went up.
That's nice.
So the best way to start hearing from your heart, you got to be clear. You got to get yourself clear. And a lot of people, like, we all have baggage, you know, we all have stuff that blocks up our heart. So pray about it. Pray that God heals your heart. You can say a prayer, God, please bless my heart and please help my heart to heal. And that will help you clear out your heart. In fact, you'll start to feel a lot better after you do that prayer. So that'll raise your vibration and help you get connected to the right place.
And knowing that God, source energy, however you connect with unconditional pure love, knowing that you just can you ask and you give that over to this source of pure love is actually you taking ownership of it, is you taking sovereignty. You know that if you pray, if the word God resonates with you, if you pray to God and say, please heal and clear my heart, and then you surrender, you let go, you've actually put yourself in alignment with love, and you are now love. And so that's what actually shifts your vibration. That's how raising your vibration works. Right. Does that make sense to you guys, how I'm explaining it? Right. And so we always have and if you have spirit guides that you're familiar with, then know that they are there. You feel them in your heart as love. And this could be anyone who has passed that you know, or an angel if you don't have people who are close to you who have passed that you are familiar with. And, angels also, you can feel them in your heart. That's something that is very common when I'm helping people to bridge the grief, you know what I mean? Like when someone has just passed or is passing, whether it's a human or an animal, because I work with animals a lot, they typically are telling me, I'm in your heart. And so the physical body isn't there anymore. The kind of beautiful thing about death, about someone passing, transitioning from physical to non-physical, the people who are still physical, we don't have, I have Hillary here, and so I'm connecting with Hillary. That's how we think about it. But if there was no physical body, I have to go deeper into my own heart to find them and feel them. And there's something really beautiful about that gift that we get when someone passes. Go ahead, Rach.
There's also something very raw because one of the things I've noticed too is that you are, when you're speaking with someone who you're that close with, who is on the other side, it's this very open, like you can't just hide who you are. Like we walk around and like when we talk to certain people and who have physical bodies who are here with us, you sometimes you can't be yourself in front of those people because you get so scared. But like with a spirit, it's like, okay, well, you see who I am. I can't hide. So it's like, so it's this deep, like that's one of the things for me is that like I would, like for me, having these connections helped me feel more at ease with my own body and feel more at ease with me as a person. And so now it's like, okay, well, like this other spiritual being can hear all my thoughts and like is around me and knows like what I'm feeling, so I can't hide anything. So, but it's been very healing and very loving and very like, okay, well now because of this, it's like now it's like it's helpful in a way. It's like, okay, now I can go walk around and connect to other people better because I'm more,
authentic. Your authenticity is out there. You can't hide it.
Yeah.
That's true. But I want to say that the phone lines are open, 323-524-2599. We have 3 mediums here. So, 323-524-2599 if you want to call in to either share a story about, any of things that we're talking about here, or if you would like some insight. Again, 3 mediums, so 323-524-2599. I love that. That is a really beautiful insight that they hold the space for us to be more authentic because they can just see us genuinely. Yeah. And by the way, people, if you're new and you're like, what? Grandpa can watch me shower? He's not interested. He's in heaven.
And that's the message I get is that it depends who, like, obviously, like, okay, so I have my grandparents on the other side too. And I was really freaked out. I was like, oh my God, are they watching me all the time? There are things I just don't want my grandparents to know. And Roger was like, no. It's not like that. Maybe like he's here all the time with me and that's fine. But it's like if you had your spouse, like you wouldn't mind your spouse being with you 24/7, but you wouldn't want your grandparents. Like I feel like spirits respect that. They are like,
well, we're free will.
Yeah.
We have absolute free will still. So if I need to, have private time in the bathroom from my husband, I close the door. He's not, he loves me, so he's not going to be like, let me come in there. He would still love me if he were on the other side and not be in the bathroom with me.
Exactly. Yeah. And they're coming from a place of love. They're not going to watch you. Like they know it's going to make you feel bad. So they're not going to like, hi, Grandpa. Like it's not.
Well, they have better things to do up there. They're not going to sit there and watch you all the time.
Yes, and they watch you like having
take a shower,
intimacy or whatever.
Yeah. They're up there having fun.
Yes, exactly. And they are there to support us and they aren't there to judge us. There's no judgment in heaven. And there's no judgment on the other side. So if you're doing something from about let's say you're ashamed of or you're shy about or whatever, and you don't know how, you don't want to feel exposed about that, they would absolutely not be paying attention because their place is not judgment.
Yeah. And you're
judging yourself. So they're like, you can't even resonate with them because you're judging yourself.
Yeah.
And so they can't see you is a way to think about it. Even when we say we can see everything, they don't see those details. They understand our imperfections and want to support us through them.
And we're so bound here. Like, it's almost like we're bound by rules that don't, like, some rules obviously are great. We should have them. Like, don't kill people. Like, there are things like don't do bad things. But we're bound by so many other status things and so many other things that in heaven, I feel like you're not going to be bound by anymore. And we're so, like you said, we're judging ourselves for things that we just let go. And that people in heaven aren't going to be looking down on us like that, saying, oh, why'd you do that? And so, but just knowing that that's not, like, knowing that you can let go of those things really helps release the anxiety and helps you connect to that place of love so that you can be on a higher vibrational level.
That's beautiful. Do we have a caller? Yeah, we have. Okay, let's take a call. Thank you so much, Kurt. And let's see who is on the air and who wants to come on the air and talk about their experiences. And hello, you're on the air. Who's this?
Hi, this is Brianna.
Hi, Brianna. How are you?
I'm really good. Thank you, Tricia. How are you?
Great. I'm great. Thanks for calling. We have Hillary Michaels and Rachel Radner on with us. What's on your mind?
Hi, Hillary. Yeah, hi, Hillary. Hi, Rachel.
Hi.
I will just preface that I'm here with my almost 2-year-old who is wild and crazy, so I'm hoping the noise won't be too much.
That's okay. The connection's great. So what's going on with you?
Okay, awesome. I've been told recently 2 different times by a psychic that I am intuitive and psychic, and I kind of knew that, but I am, just feeling my way through it, and kind of would love to know if you guys can pick up maybe on who might be around me, supporting me in this, maybe help me understand who my spirit guides are.
Sounds great. Hillary, Rachel, either one of you have some insight for Brianna?
Yeah, the first thing, and let me know if I'm wrong here, but I'm picking up on either maybe your father or like a father figure who's on the other side.
Okay. My father's still living, but
This
I'm
would
sure
be probably her.
there's some other people.
Would this be your grandfather on your dad's side, perhaps? You didn't know
Nope,
him?
he's actually living as well.
Oh, okay. This is somebody I don't feel like this is someone you would have known, so this might be a great-grandfather on your dad's side.
That's interesting. Well, my mom's father passed away just shortly before I was born.
Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say I saw the mother's side right before you said that. So how does that resonate with you guys? I see on the mother's side, and it's your mother's father. So,
yeah, I was picking up on mom's mom, too.
You got mom's mom?
Or a great-grandmother.
Oh,
I'm just seeing the position.
Yeah.
So go ahead, you guys. Yeah.
Okay, so right away, Brianna, I feel like your mom's mom really supports you with your gifts. And I actually feel like she would have had some psychic or mediumship gifts too. And I feel like you're not just I don't know what you consider intuitive, but I definitely see that you're a medium. I definitely feel like you're really psychic and you're very much an empath, but I feel like the psychic is more or stronger than any of your gifts. So your goal would probably be to shift that to your mediumship, and you can ask your guides to help you with that, just so that when you're using your abilities, you're not using so much energy. Psychic ability tends to drain us, so you want to back off of that a little bit and see if you can just receive the information rather than reach out and get it from somebody, because psychic is actually the soul to soul connection and mediumship is receiving from spirit, and you can use more energy using psychic ability, and with mediumship you don't use any at all, you just talk. So
it's kind of like that shift we were talking about, connecting with the heart and then your psychic abilities translated or something, rather than just going psychic to psychic, kind of on that frequency length. Yeah.
Brianna, was there, your grandma is talking about a birthday coming up or just passed?
Well, my son's birthday is coming up in a couple weeks.
Okay.
My birthday is in January.
Okay, so she's talking about this birthday and she just wants to let you know she's going to be there. And then she's also mentioning a necklace that she would have passed down or a piece of jewelry, but I feel like it's small, so it feels like a necklace.
Okay, interesting. She was quite a jewelry-aholic, and she gave me quite a lot of her jewelry right before she passed.
Okay, take your
pick. I don't know which specific piece it would be. I have
she might be talking about all of it. Yeah, usually they'll show me a necklace or a ring, but I'm definitely seeing necklace. Do you have a necklace with a cross on it from her? by any chance?
Interesting. Okay. It's not coming to mind, but it's very possible.
Yeah. Okay.
I would
She's talking about necklaces, though.
I feel like go and look at the stash, the bounty. It actually seems like you may be drawn to one piece sometimes and then just like really love it and then like want to go back and look at the treasure and go, ooh, now this piece. You know what I mean? That's what it actually kind of feels like to me. So it may be one piece at a time, but it could be shifting to the different ones that you love. And she'll charge them up with, ooh, that's cool. She says she will charge them up with different, resonances for whatever you're working with or through, or, you know what I mean? Like however you're developing at that time. So when you feel that you want to go find a new piece, and sometimes you might wear it and sometimes you might put it on your bedside table or something like that. It's the way that we kind of work with crystals. And, literally there are metals, metaphysical, resonances with metals and with stones, and so the jewelry would have all of that kind of capacity as well.
Wow. That totally connects for me. I was really close with her, and especially spent a lot of time with her before she passed, and we have a pretty good connection, I would say, on that kind of I don't know, just that that different level. I think I've always kind of thought she did have some special powers, and I think we both knew that of each other, but didn't really speak of it.
Brianna, she's the message I'm getting now is that she's always on your right side and she's always around you. So I feel like when you were asking earlier about your spirit guides and people who were there to help you, I feel like she is like the number one person who's there for you.
And Rachel picked up on a father figure, so you could explore that as well. And I pulled a card for you, balance. Take time to relax, indulge in a little more or less, set boundaries with your work. So that actually resonates to me about in your development, to take time and spend time with your spiritual development. And you don't have to, you can let yourself off the hook a little bit with the kind of 3D pound in the pavement kind of work, at least enough so far in the emotional space, if nothing else. If you can't do it with the literal time, then find some balance so you can do some inner work, some development personally, spiritually.
Nice.
Anything else, girls?
Brianna, she passed before it's your son, a boy? You have a boy with you?
Yeah.
She passed before he was born. Is that right? Because she's saying she sees everything, and she wants you to know that she's kind of watching over him. But I also feel like there's another child coming in as well. So I see her with a little girl or a younger baby. So just keep an eye out for that. Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Sorry to break the news to you.
As she was passing, quite literally where she was kind of, in and out, those very, very last moments, she turned to me and opened her eyes out of nowhere, and she said, "Where is your little boy?"
Oh,
and this was
wow.
4.5 years ago. And I said, I don't know.
Yeah.
And then, 2 years later, I was pregnant, and now I have an almost 2-year-old boy.
Oh, wow. That's
pretty
really
incredible.
Cool. Thank you for sharing that. We all got chills, I'm sure, right? Kurt got chills too. You even gave Kurt, the producer, chills.
All right.
Well,
thank you so much. I really appreciate being on the air. I've been a really, really big fan, Tricia and Crystal and Compton as well. You guys really just helped open it up, kind of breaking down the walls for me to learn so much about myself and the power that I have, and to let go of fear. And today's message of working from the heart, I think, was really imperative for me to hear. So I would never call even for something to win tickets. And so I just grabbed the phone and called, and that was really weird. And then I got right on. So that felt really cool. And I really appreciate it.
Well,
Great.
Thank you. You're
Nice
so
meeting you,
beautiful.
Brianna.
Thank you. And
okay. Well, yes. Blessings to all of you guys. And I can't wait to continue listening.
thank you, Brianna. Appreciate you.
All right.
Have a great day.
Bye.
So I do want to
Bye.
mention the Lightworkers Lab, because Brianna mentioned Crystalline Compton, who's my dear, dear friend, and we do broadcast the show into the Lightworkers Lab. It's on Facebook. It's a Facebook group, a community. I am a guide, a teacher, and a moderator there. So you can find it by going to Facebook and searching for the Lightworkers Lab. It'll come up as a group. Join the community and just have fun. There's all kinds of resources there. So we'd love to see you there. Shall we take another call? Let's do it then. We have more callers on the line. It always happens that way. When one person gets through, then people start calling. They're like, oh, that didn't hurt at all. Hi, you're on the air. Who's this?
Hi, Tricia. It's Chris Hoffman.
Oh, this is my honey. Well, not my, sorry.
How are you, babe?
If the honey that I'm married to heard that, sorry. But I call all kinds of boys and girls honey. This is a dear friend of mine. What's going on with you today, Chris? Chris is very clairaudient, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
Yes. What's
I
going
just have to mention how luminous you are and how much I love you. I'm so enjoying this conversation.
Really great, isn't it? Yeah.
It is.
These girls are amazing.
I just had a question.
Okay, go ahead.
For Hillary, you made a comment about how spirit is not sarcastic. So I was just kind of wondering if you could speak a little bit more to that, and if it's more of our perception of the energy that's coming through, would you say, if we do feel that way?
Well, if they're being sarcastic, you're going to perceive it that way. So I would definitely be careful.
I think if you don't mind my interjecting,
Go ahead.
Because to me, sometimes sarcasm is loving still.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not that they're humorless. Well, I think when Hillary's saying they're not sarcastic, she means they're not mean, they're not rude. You know what I mean? Like, they wouldn't have the negative.
Okay.
It's not going to be. So let me
Go ahead.
explain.
Yeah,
so when
you
you
explain
feel
to me.
somebody from heaven, it's going to feel like you want to laugh or you want to cry all of a sudden. And that's without them saying anything. But if they say something to you, they're not going to try and make you laugh. They're not going to try and make you cry. They're not going to try and invoke any feelings. It's going to be very sincere, very straightforward, and very positive. Does that make sense?
Oh, thank you. Yes, I love that distinction. Thank you so much. That really clears it up in my mind. I appreciate it.
And you come right. You go right to your heart. And Chris, like I say, he's very clairaudient. I love the way he uses his clairaudience. He's very skilled with it, but he's anchored in his heart. He's a reader. He's actually been on the show before. So that's a really great question, though. I'm really glad that you brought that up because, again, it's not like they're completely humorless and they don't get fun and play or anything like that. And sometimes we think sarcasm is telling a joke that is fun, you know what I mean? Like, and it's not manipulative. Basically, they wouldn't manipulate, which a lot of times certain kinds of sarcasm are like that, or maybe a lot of the time as what we might think of as being rude.
I've had visitations from Jesus, and he's really funny sometimes. Like, Jesus is actually really funny. And I'll give you an example of like the way he was funny with me one time. So one of the things my guides really are pressing on me is to stop eating so much sugar because it does interfere with your ability to connect. And you kind of get a brain fog when you've eaten too much sugar. And so they're really on me about that all the time. And so kind of like Jesus is like one of my guides, kind of like he worked through me to get the message for people out. And so I did have a dream once where he was in front of, it was a very clear, very beautiful dream. He was in front of the church. I was sitting in one of the pews and he was teaching the congregation, and I pulled out my milkshake and I was slurping really loudly. And it was kind of like a message like, okay, you're eating sugar and slurping really loudly is getting in the way of my message, so you need to stop. So it was kind of funny, but it was at the same time very sincere. And it wasn't in words, it was in actions. So that's typically how they'll come through. And if there's anything that they have to ever tell me or anything they have to convey to me, it's usually in actions or feeling rather than clairaudience. And it's never sarcastic. They say what they mean, basically.
I also, Chris, I think you were on my live the other night, and elementals, their energy is different than spirits on the other side. And they can be just kind of like humans. They can be a little bit more positive, a little bit more negative. And so I was connecting with my water elemental guide, and she was making me really want to giggle a lot. And she was like playing with me, but I was happy. I mean, I was genuinely happy.
It comes from within. It's like bubbling up. It's bubbling. It's emotions that bubble up inside of you.
And then she was playing with me. Like, she was like, not teasing like mean, but like playing fun with me.
Yeah.
And so I was like laughing, but I wanted to cry because it felt so loving and sweet. So there's all different kinds of colors.
And that's how it is for me too. Like they're like, I don't want to say sarcasm, but like the playfulness.
Yes.
And the laughing because you're making jokes with the person.
Yes.
That has definitely happened, but it's been like out of a place of love. Like even if it's like, like a joke that, even if it might have been like, I don't want to say sarcasm, but
Sure.
but it's always a place of love, even if it's joking or laughing or commenting on like society in like a funny way.
Totally. Yes, I get that too a lot.
But it's still loving.
Even Metatron, when I connect with Metatron, because he's sometimes so direct, just kind of like like tough, not really tough love because he's still so gentle, but almost like, don't you know how amazing you are? You know what I mean? Like it's that kind of thing where it's a challenge that's extremely loving, you know, and anyway, I think this is fantastic. Thank you so much for the question, Chris. You really sparked a lot
of course.
And I know you have a lot of experiences, so it makes a lot of sense now that we've clarified that perspective, right? And how do you feel about it? Because you're very experienced. He's a reader and everything.
Yes, I love that. I mean, especially with the connection to Jesus, like my nickname for him is J-Dog, you know? You can have this playful time with him, you know? And thank you for mentioning about the sugar. I think that just dropped down from spirit because I need to watch my sugar intake.
And
so
alcohol. Don't drink alcohol either. Sugar, alcohol.
Cut that out, so now it's just sugar.
Okay. That was my tough thing to get rid of too, was the sugar. Now, I can't eat cookies anymore. It's so sad.
Every now and again. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for calling, sweetheart. I just love you so much. I appreciate you.
Of course. I love you. Thank you guys so much. Have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye. I love that. That's because I just connected with the other day. I was like, she came through really strong. I hadn't connected with this water elemental guide, and it was when I was like talking to her and I was sharing with her. She is an undine, so it's like the realm just above fairies in the Devic realm.
Oh, okay.
So basically overseeing water fairies. But she was actually talking to me about water elves, the water elves, and which is kind of, I hadn't really thought of elves as being water. Why not? Water oriented as well. And but yeah, I was saying like, oh, she's teasing, but it wasn't really like teasing like mean. It was teasing like having fun, and it was.
Have you seen her?
I have a vague image of her but no, not physically. I haven't seen her with my physical eyes.
Oh, okay.
Just like in my clairvoyance. But she's mostly just light. I don't really put much form to her. Yeah.
She has, I think I see her behind you. She has like these green glowing eyes.
Yeah, I would definitely.
Like really crazy looking green.
She's got her name is Luna.
Oh, she's really pretty. So it's like a fairy though.
Yeah, it is very fairy-like.
It's a fairy.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's along those lines. So yeah, she would have a fairy kind of image, and I see her with kind of a cropped dark hair, or maybe it's pulled back sometimes or something like that. But of course, they always change in our perception as we're growing too. So,
Cool.
Do we have another call, Kurt? Okay, well, let's take another call. How much time do we have left? We have time for another caller? Yeah. Okay, cool. Thanks. Okay, you're on the air. Who's this? And we'll try again. Hello, you're on the air. Oh, it's not coming through. I can't hear.
Hello?
Oh, there you are. Hello. Hi. What's your name?
Patricia.
Oh, Patricia. Hi. I'm Patricia as well. I just go by Tricia.
I know.
Well, what's on your mind today?
Yeah. I have been a member of the Lightworkers Lab for about 3 months, and probably about 4 or 5 years I've been doing like intuitive readings.
Okay.
But mediumship kind of scares me. So I just wanted your thoughts on that. And also, I am wondering if you see anybody around me or have any messages.
Okay. Well, I'd love to kick it to the master medium teachers, Hillary or Rachel.
Patricia, is your dad passed? He's passed, right?
Yes.
Okay. I'm definitely getting your dad with you, but I definitely see that he's apologizing. So I feel like there was maybe like a little bit of a tattered connection that you had with him. Does that make sense? So I'm definitely...
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely apologizing for something. So I don't know what that is, but he's definitely coming forward and apologizing. But I definitely feel like he's one of your main guides, and he supports you tremendously with your work. I feel like you are a medium, and I don't think you should be afraid of it. I know it is a little scary, but the best way you can open that up is to pray about it and just say, God, please help me to open up my mediumship safely so it's not scary. Because I definitely see that is part of your purpose. So here we have a fear that's keeping you from manifesting your purpose in life. So really be helpful for you to pray about that.
Has your mom also passed as well? Or someone who is maybe like
a
mother? Yeah. Okay, that's who I'm sensing your mom too, and I'm sensing that she's there with you all the time, and that, like Hillary said, not to be afraid of your mediumship, and that you're someone who can be really in tune with it.
And I do feel her with me all the time.
Yeah.
I would do some heart connecting, as we've been talking about. I got a card for you, too. There is a technique that you could look up called the heart-brain coherence. It's actually taught by Greg Braden in the Heart Math Institute. And this is just essentially where you do a light meditation where you slow down your breathing, maybe count your breathing 5, 5, 5, 5 in, hold 5, and release for 5. Put your hands on your heart, the actual where your physical organ is, and channel your awareness into your heart and bring up loving images of any kind, any image, any feeling, any event or picture of someone that you love. And then just continue to hold these images, these loving images, while you're connecting with the energy of your heart. This helps you to resonate with that heart. And then you'll just realize mediumship is no different than connecting lovingly in any other way to get that heart energy flowing. Oh, and I have a card for you, and it says strength. The challenge will make you stronger. You will get through to the other side. Look for the gifts in this situation. So the fear is just a challenge that's going to make you even stronger. When you move past it, you're going to be able to help other, it'll be part of your purpose. You'll be able to help other people move through the fear, just like these two lovely ladies are doing when, they opened up to their different gifts, and it was scary at first, but they worked through it, and now they can hold someone else's hand and say, it's nothing. There's nothing to be afraid of. So this is your path as well. All right, Patricia?
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I have really felt like it is, and I feel like I'm stopping myself. So
It's definitely your
this
purpose.
has been very helpful.
Pray about that. I think it's your purpose. Should be doing
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much for calling, and thank you for shining your light and being who you are. We appreciate you so much. Talk to you again another time, I hope.
And thank you to all of you.
Yeah.
Have a great day. Well, I think we are almost out of time. Kurt, yes? Yeah, we're almost out of time. So why don't we go ahead and have some final words and tell folks how they can be in touch with you, each of you.
So go ahead, Rachel.
Sure. Final words. And if you want to find me, I'm at rachelradner.com. I'm on Facebook and Twitter at Rachel Radner, so pretty easy. And just final words. Just, if you are scared or if you feel like, oh my gosh, I'm going crazy. Nope, you're not going crazy. You have nothing to be scared about. You are always protected. That's my final parting message.
Love it.
All right. And my name is Hillary Michaels. And if you want to get a hold of me, or you want to get a reading, or you want to take classes, to get a reading, happycentric.com for classes all over the country, laspiritualarts.com. Check it out.
Well, I think this was an amazing show, you guys. I had so much fun. Did you guys?
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I just felt like
Thank you.
That was awesome.
Spirit we just ran so much Holy Spirit. It was awesome. Well, I am live every week, every Sunday at 11 a.m. Pacific, and you can join me live, or you can find the archives on iTunes by searching Charmed Life with Tricia Carr. And of course, I have a YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/Tricia Carr. So you could listen to this as an audio or watch the video on my YouTube channel. And I put up other videos and channeled messages and different kinds of videos on YouTube and also on the podcast feed. I'm going to be putting up some different. So go and join either one of them. And again, my Patreon community, patreon.com/Tricia Carr. So I will see you next time. Thank you so much. Thanks for joining. Thanks for tuning in. I love you, whoever you are.